All right. So you can just like, if you want, introduce yourself, like, and then just, whatever you have to give us on ice, basically. Yeah.
Okay, my name's Serena. I'm all the way from Oregon, and I've been going to the Portland, Oregon ICE protest. Um, Talking with everybody, I think that one side sees something certain, and then the other side sees the big picture or doesn't see what the other side sees. There's a lot of conflict between those from being there. Um, what was your first question?
My first question is, can you explain like what you see happening with ice in Portland and what stood out most to you from your perspective? It's like a double question, but from your perspective, how does this reflect the larger immigration issue we're seeing across the country?
So while being at ICE in Portland, I went there with an open mind. I've been there for 3 weeks. Um, the big picture is corruption within the PD up there. Uh, we all think, and this was really deep diving, we all think that the governor, the police department, and Antifa are all working together. It's been a lot of corruption. ICE is getting attacked as they come out because they come out to push the protesters off the street, off the sidewalk, and not actually push, but they're being attacked. They're being spit on. Um, One of my journalists actually just got a bottle of urine thrown at him, like a whole bottle of urine. Um, and the wrong person got jailed for it. And so I'm seeing the ICE agents, like I was in the military, so I know what it's like to have orders from the top that you cannot disregard and just not do.
Yeah.
But they're left to defend themselves. They're left getting attacked because they're taking orders and these people are taking it out on the ICE agents. Um, so a bunch of patriots, a bunch of journalists show support when there. And as soon as the patriots show up, it's a constant war. It's an automatic war. They automatically get called Nazis, pedos, um, fascists, without anyone even meeting them. And so it's a constant war coming from the left and coming from Antifa. And Antifa means anti fascist, but that's the PR term for it. Antifa, in my opinion, is a group. They're very violent. I've heard stories from my friends. A couple of my friends have actually got murdered by Antifa in the past, back in 2016 up to 2020. Um, it's really hard. They're very violent. I witnessed that myself. We're pretty sure Antifa orchestrated all three of our attacks. Nick Sorter got attacked, then I got attacked or attempted attack, and then that's when my friend Ryan, right after mine, is when my friend Ryan, he got the bottle of urine thrown at him. So we think it was literally all back to back. So we think it was all orchestrated because it was random attacks on us as journalists.
Yeah, that's crazy. Um, my next question would be, um, I mean, you kind of went into it a little bit but already, but how would you describe ICE's role on the ground? Are they organized, professional? You said they're following orders, so we don't say follow procedure. Do you feel like ICE is doing their job that they're meant to do, enforcing the law and protecting the American citizens? I guess
I
it's a
think
good.
they are. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think they are. I think they take orders from the top. ICE actually has a page called The Worst of the Worst. And I've talked to a few people on the left side, a part of Antifa, and they're focused on doctors that are getting caught by ICE, people who have established families here by ICE. But they're not looking at um, the worst of the worst, the people with criminal charges, the people who are here illegally. They're not looking at everything they're doing good, and they're not doing things without reason. And it's not like they want to do this, you know,
Yeah.
taking people away from families. It's no one wants to do that. No one
No.
wants to do that.
Yeah, because
So
then
I
like
think they,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was gonna say my dad was, my dad doesn't know like much facts, but he was explaining to me like how I could, I've been trying to explain to people that like ICE isn't the one that's like, deciding that they're going back to the country. They're just doing their job to like basically
Hmm.
like I don't know if it's what the word is, like detain them, but then it's the court's decision whether they go or not. So it's not like ICE is the actual court. Like everyone wants to blame ICE and say like ICE is doing all this, but it's really not ICE. It's they're just doing their job, being told what to do, and it's really
Hmm.
the government's job of where they go after that.
Yeah,
Would you
like
say
when
that's like pretty much true?
yeah, that's
Yeah.
completely true. Like, and I don't think the left side really thinks that they're targeting these innocent people. They are not. When Secretary Noem was here, um, they got a guy who was a pedophile and had a bunch of charges to minors. And he has been coming in and out for it was either 5 or 15 years. But like people like that, they post on the worst of the worst page through ICE, and
Yeah.
it's called Wow. But it's people like that they're really after. You know.
Yeah. Trying to make it safer too, for
Hmm.
probably for, for us. Um,
Exactly.
my next question would be how do people around you react like to react to ICE? Was there support for ICE from like the general public or is there more pushback? And did it seem like local leaders or activists were helping the situation or does it make it harder for ICE to do their job?
So up in Portland at the ICE facility, in a small town like my hometown, we're mostly patriots out here. Most of us show our support. Some of us travel from all around Oregon just to show support. Like we just had a protest at the ICE building of patriots because they weren't getting support. They've been dealing with like months on end protests from the left side, getting attacked, getting spit on, like I said.
Yeah.
And they've been dealing with that. So we brought a lot of signs. We played some patriotic music every time they came out. We thanked them. Um, a couple of our friends actually surprised us. They had a huge mural of Charlie Kirk with the cross in the background,
Yeah, I saw
of
that on
him
your
raising
Facebook.
his hand. Yeah.
Yeah, it was so
And
cool.
so it was amazing. So they surprised us. And it was actually my friend's boyfriend that painted that, which amazed me even more because that was so
Yeah.
talented. And then you know, I really don't think ICE is getting help from our government over here. I mean, our governor, Democrat, she led the march to the protest.
Oh, yeah.
Our governor led the march to the protest. I'm like, are you kidding me? And then she just upped our taxes too. So gas is so much more expensive. She's making it harder for us to live here. Our
Yeah.
PD, our PD chief, one thing that's happening is our PD chief up in Portland. He, I cannot exaggerate this, and a lawsuit might be coming on to Portland PD. Um, they're arresting journalists and Republicans. I've seen maybe one or two people from the left side get arrested. Every single night, they're arresting us Republicans and journalists
Crazy. And they're
because
just
we're
probably trying to
showing
get you
the,
off the street, right? So that way you're not there
yeah,
to report
so
what's
they
going
could,
on.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's one of the big reasons why we think that the governor, the PD chief, and Antifa are all working together. And Antifa, we just found out, has this storage unit right down like in the area. They just had a U-Haul truck drop off a bunch of stuff for camp because Secretary Noem, when she came, they had to take it down. They put it up a day later after she left.
Crazy.
And so cops aren't doing anything. People are drinking in the street. Cops aren't doing anything. I had a attempted attack twice. Cops didn't arrest the woman, but they'll arrest someone that's a journalist or Republican on the spot just like that. But as
Yeah.
soon as ICE comes out, as soon as they get attacked or anything, they take them inside, they book them, you know, they deal with it federally. So while the feds are dealing with the left side, on the outside, PD is grabbing all these journalists as soon as they can and these Republicans. So a lot of the times we have to be really on guard because the left side tries to antagonize us. So it's making things harder. And sometimes if the feds could do something about it, they'll shoot little pepper balls or something. Or if they're getting rowdy, they'll shoot pepper balls or come out with tear gas.
Yeah.
And they usually aim just at the left side because looking at the ICE building, all of Antifa, all of the leftists kind of just hang out on the left side and we're all kind of to the right catching footage and stuff. Sometimes those journalists will go into the left side and get the other side videos of the tear gas and stuff. And I don't have a mask. So I just kind of suffer
You're
through
like,
it
I don't,
at
you just
times.
hope.
Yeah,
You're like, I hope and pray
I
that I
need
don't have
to
to.
yeah, I need to invest in a mask because that last tear gas canister they used was so much stronger than what they normally use. It was bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
but I think I think PD is not helping with the feds, honestly. They're making
yeah.
things harder. And I actually had a situation, I think on Thursday. Yeah, Thursday night, I had a situation where the feds were chasing after this guy. Well, me and my other friend, who's a streamer, um, he was a past law enforcement. And so he ran around and he thought it was the cops. So he ran around and the cops don't do anything. So he's like, oh, he must have done something bad. He ran around, actually tackled the guy, thought the cops were still chasing. The cops stopped at the fence, but it was actually the feds. So they didn't continue. So when I realized where he went, I ran around to the back at the building and I get on the phone with PD and I'm repeating, I need you to send someone now. I need you to send someone now, like frantically. Then I start getting more frantic once I see a Antifa militant come
Yeah.
around the corner. And they're dressed all scary, like all in black, vest, face covered, everything.
Yeah.
So I see her come around and I'm like, Antifa's coming around the corner. I need you to send someone now. And I'm screaming at this point, like, send someone here to my location now. And she didn't send anyone. She continued to ask me what color plaid this guy was wearing. And
That's so
I
scary.
got maced. I got maced by the Antifa woman. And I just lost my absolute ever living calmness on her.
Yeah.
I was so mad. And so, me and my friend, we're actually talking about a Class A lawsuit against PD because there's so many things that could go against it. PD has not arrested Nick's attacker, has not arrested my attempted attacker, has not helped us in any single way, is only grabbing Republicans and journalists, and they
Yeah.
would not discharge someone to me. So it's a list of things. So they're not
Yeah, because like
helping.
anything happens to you, it's like
Yeah.
they're gonna be
Yeah,
at
they're
fault,
not
but
helping
they
at
can bring you
all.
back. So it's like that's
Hmm.
a scary world. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, they're not helping at all. Honestly, I think they're purposely making it harder on ICE, like, hey, we're not going to touch the protesters. So ICE has more people to deal with out here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then it just, yeah, then I have, it makes, yeah,
Hmm.
it just kind of slows the process.
Yeah. And even though burning the flag is against the law now, they're still doing it on the streets right in front of the cops.
Yeah, there's
Is
still gonna be
anything
stuff
done?
like that.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so Nick Sorter actually, he stopped two flags from burning. So it's it's been chaotic. It's been chaotic, and I tried to keep calm to the most part. I actually a elderly patriot came
Yeah.
dressed as Santa, and I had to stand between him this weekend and a leftist idiot who was literally holding a speaker in this old man's ears, shaking it back and forth because Santa had a bell and he was just ringing it all jolly and stuff, saying ho ho ho.
Yeah.
You know, he loves this country and this young leftist is holding a speaker in his ear. Like, this is an elderly man. Like, you're seriously gonna do this
This,
to an
yeah,
elderly man? So I stepped in between, and that video actually got JD Delay actually posted that video and did a commentary on it, and he was freaking out because he actually saw it live.
yeah. Um, I have just a couple more questions. So I'm just double checking. Um, I have like for a bigger picture, is like, what do you think Portland shows us about how divided Americans are on immigration enforcement? And from what you've seen, why is it important for ICE to continue doing their work even when cities or states resist? It's like,
Um, so what was the first part of that? Sorry.
sorry. What do you think Portland shows us about how divided Americans are on immigration enforcement? And from what, oh, that's the first part. And then the second part was from what you've seen, why is it important for ICE to continue doing their work?
So I've met a lot of kind of diverse opinions from the left side about everything. And then as a patriot myself, a lot of people, I'll have conversations, and myself agrees with this. Like, people who are smack middle trying in the process of trying to get legalized here, and that have established families, are live innocent lives, have past innocent lives, established jobs, established families, innocent, I think they should be given a chance to live here. And so do a lot of people on the left side. A lot of people on the left side also think, like, to hell with the pedophiles, to hell with the murderers, like they could go back. Like, we don't want them here. A
Yeah,
lot of people are in agreement with that, but then there are some people on the left side that are like, this isn't even our land. This is the land of the free. So why should they leave?
yeah,
There's a lot of diverse opinions on this. Um, the Patriots there, a lot of them have same opinions as me. A lot of them just want to support ICE because as Patriots, we love this country no matter what. It's like with it's like with parents. We don't, as kids, we don't agree with everything that we say or they say, but we still love them and we still follow them, you know.
yeah,
And as patriots, we love this country, and so we still back it up and back up government and everything no matter what. Even then, like, sometimes if we don't agree with it, like, I'll support the agents even if I don't agree with the decisions made, because at the end of the day it's not their fault.
yeah.
um what was the second part of that?
Um, Sorry. From what you've seen, why do you think it's important for ICE to continue doing their work even when cities and states resist? Or if you think it's kind of,
um
if you do think it's important, I guess, because it's kind of picking one side, but
so personally, like, I looked into what I was talking about earlier, the worst of the worst. I know damn well I don't want my kid growing up next to these people. And Americans, we have enough of that as is. We
yeah.
don't need to add more. Um, Also, the fact when the Ukraine stuff was going on, I saw uh, news articles about how a bunch of people came over here, and it was towards the central of America, the US, that people were catching family pets and killing them and eating them. That might be their culture, but it's not ours.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
family pets. That's a part of our family. So they could go back to their culture, but let us have our culture. That's family pets. That's literally a part of family.
Yeah.
Also, the fact that I personally know my friend's mother, she works for this company called ICC. It's like interstate or something like that, cleaning service or something like that. Um, it's ICC, and they were told to keep their mouth shut or they would be fired. But a bunch of um, a bunch of Mexicans come in. And my friend's mom even got told that she won't get a raise or promotion or anything because she doesn't speak Spanish. But a bunch of Mexicans come in with fake security cards and they get flown all over the place, but they're taking the Americans' jobs.
Yeah.
They're literally taking all of the Americans' jobs soon. There's like, so many people got sent away, and actual Americans are losing their jobs at this company. People who have worked there for years. And so she was talking to me about it. And if that's happening with my friend's mother, where she's in fear of losing her job because they're letting illegals come in and take it, how many other companies are doing that?
Yeah.
How much harder is it making it for the American citizens to live here? You know?
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
so and my I guess my what I want to close with is like a final big question, which was like if you had to give like one message, like what's one message that you would want like college students or anyone who's watching, like what would you want them to remember about why ICE's work matters for the future of our country? Sorry if I worded that hard. Went
You,
off script.
what message would I want them to know about what?
About why ICE's work matters for the future of our country. Or any message. I mean, you don't have to go with that. You could be like, what's one message
Mhm.
that you would give to, college students or people watching about this topic, essentially. Um, Anything like that, I guess. Sorry, off script at the
No,
same
you're
time.
good. I mean, kind of what I just said. I mean, illegals are starting to take actual American citizens' jobs, and I know we have enough of it as is, but the criminals in this country, we don't need some more people from another country coming here as a gang member, as a pedophile, we don't need more of that. We already have our country to take care of. You
Yeah,
know, if they want to come here, they can get legalized. And I mean, that's my opinion. That's my
yeah, that's my
opinion. But,
yeah,
I think it's right for everybody, right for our kids, right for our future. I don't want my kids, I want to try to help fix the problem for my kid. And, as a college student, you have to keep in mind nothing in this world is going to change unless you help make the change. Find that group. And that's what I found out the ICE protests is I found streamers and journalists with the same mindset as me. We want to make a change, and that's why we might be starting very, very strong might be starting a class A lawsuit against PD and the corruption inside of it. Nothing's going to change unless you help make the change.
yeah. You got to make the difference. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just like everything else. I try to teach people about that when it comes to like anything that's happened in our country, when we've had a big growth in the country, like even our just the basics of like our constitution. It's like it didn't just happen. We had to come to two sides that argued and we came to a conclusion, you
Exactly.
know?
Exactly. And that's what I see so much of. Like, I've had genuine conversations with people, and usually it ends with, like, okay, you could have your opinion, I could have mine, or, oh, we actually have the same opinions, but we're screaming over different things.
Yeah.
I'm I'm screaming that, support ICE. They're doing right things. You're screaming, hey, there's some of these people that are innocent. There's some children.
Yeah.
But at the end of the night, we have the same opinion on it. We're screaming from two different sides, though. And
Yeah.
so a lot of the times, either we figure out we have the same opinion or, we agree to disagree and we're cool. They have more respect for me for conversating. I have more respect for them. But then you meet those ones that just want to argue or they're just there because they want to fight against the government, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what divides this country. It's a big thing.
Yeah, we got to come together.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, and it's so hard for a lot of people to do.
yeah, I think I went on one of my episodes. I was like it's more about a lot of the college students. It's like they're I put it down to like the bare basics, but like if they're a freshman and they're in a dorm and they're like they just left their parents' house and they're fresh to knowing the world and they get thrown out in the world where
Mhm.
all this is going on since like say like literally just like Charlie was just assassinated right before or right like the first week of our classes starting. So for them to like go in, they're trying to find like a safety net of like how to like navigate the world and you have all this going on and it's like they're insecure about what they feel, so like even in with Boston and like the Antifa that are there, some of them are
Yeah.
just kids that like a lot of the stuff that's happened recently with rioting and stuff like that, it's all just kids and they just I don't even think they really
Uh-huh.
understand what they're doing because they're just being told like
That's
you know
that's what I see. And so one thing that I didn't mention is Antifa uses whoever they can.
yeah
This group, they give the homeless shelter and food and payment just for them to get drunk during the day out there. And I watched this mentally ill homeless man be let off a leash from Antifa, come cause a ruckus, cause chaos a little bit,
yeah
and then be pulled back in by Antifa. And I watch it over and over again every single day that I'm there. And it's sad. And then they use everyone they can to start fights, to cause chaos, to antagonize the patriots, to antagonize the journalist. It's Antifa is not someone to play around. And the news is making it so little as if Antifa doesn't exist.
yeah
It's
they do,
it's
they try
bad.
to erase them,
I
it's
constantly am scared I'm gonna get stabbed by them one day.
yeah
I'm I had to watch and make sure that I'm not being followed to my car. I have to park my car in a hidden spot. It's
yeah
Antifa is that bad. They are that scary. It's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah.
yeah well I thank you for coming on and talking. Just after your long day, I was just like, I need to get you on, so you can really, let us know what's going on there. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
thank you so much.
I appreciate you talking to me because I love putting it out there. No one's gonna see the true story unless us as individual journalists put it out there.
Yeah,
So it's a lot. It's a lot. But if your students like if you show them this and they have more questions, I'm a message away.
yeah,
Yeah.
yep. So
Yeah.
yeah, I still have a recording, so they know that they heard you that saying that, and then, yeah, and then of course they can always. I'll say it now. It's like if you want, Serena to give us questions or answer any questions, feel free to message me as well. All right.
Yeah. Or whenever you're in class, if they have questions, we could set up a time for me to give you a call or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna end the recording now.
Sounds good.